Hi peeps, it is so hot and humid here today. It looks like we're gonna get some thunderstorms soon. And so I figured it was a good day to do my hottest decks of the summer list. I know you guys like to know what I'm working with seasonally. And as we move into the energy of high summer, as we approach Lammas, yeah, there's some decks that I've definitely been finding hotter than others and enjoying working with. So I figured I would share them all with you. So these decks I have found to really work well with kind of the humidity and the heat and the sexiness, the grittiness that comes with summer. When it's so hot, you don't want to do anything, right? Except for listen to music in the dark. So these are the decks that I've really been enjoying, and I tried not to make this list too exhaustive so that you can have an iced tea like I am and enjoy this video, but it's not too heavy since we've been doing some heavier videos on the channel. Wanted to give you guys something light to look forward to. So let's have a sip of iced tea and let's get into the list. So this deck may surprise you, but it is on my list for being kind of sexy hot this summer for 2022. It's Tarot della Nuit. I have a lot of mixed feelings about this deck, and there's a review on of this deck on the channel from some time ago that was like a very, over the years, many of you have had a lot of opinions on my opinions on this deck, which I totally get, but come on, it is my hot guy deck. Let's get real. There's, you know, this deck just is what it is. I don't think it really pretends to be anything else, but it does give really good readings, especially for clients. And when it's really hot out, at least this year anyhow for me, it's a fun one to work with. It's a fun one to take out of the collection and enjoy hanging out with for a little bit. It's definitely a Rider-Waite-Smith knockoff. Really easy to use, very user-friendly. Some of the computer-generated imagery I strongly dislike, which I describe in detail in the video of the original review. But there are some images that are, you know, really enjoyable to look at or funny. And so it's just one of those decks that's nice to have in your collection, right? Like, it's fun. And it doesn't need to be as serious as, say, the Mary L Tarot to be, you know, in order to be able to give you a good reading. So this is Tarot della Nuit. I will put the Amazon link to purchase this in the description box below. No, I don't get a kickback for any of the links I ever post. I just post them all for you because if I don't post them, sometimes you guys get a little bit cranky with me. And that's no fun. So, okay, we did Tarot della Nuit. Let's see. Next, I want to do the Uncommon Tarot. So something that always comes up for me in the summer is that visually I like really saturated color when it gets hot out. And the Uncommon Tarot has some really beautiful color saturation. It's very rich whilst still remaining dreamy and ethereal. And so this deck made my list because of the color saturation, kind of rich jewel tones. It's very sexy in its own way, while again, still remaining a little bit ephemeral, ethereal, you know. And it's a really great deck for dreaming with, looking at like goal setting and big picture ideas that you might have and that kind of thing. This is a really beautiful deck for that. But look at this, the color saturation is just delicious. So the Uncommon Tarot is by Shaheen Miro. Here's a look at the box, and you can find this on Amazon as well. I love the imagery in this deck. I had a reading by a very dear friend, and she used this deck in the reading, and I was like, I have to have that deck in my collection, and I really enjoy it. But just look at that color saturation. It's so fun. It gives very creative, colorful, again, dreamy reading. So if you're looking for something sweet, like I consider this like a dessert deck, if you want like a nice sweet treat, then the Uncommon Tarot may just be the deck for you. All right, this next deck on the list may surprise you because I haven't worked with this deck in a very long time, but she decided to come out and play with a client today, and I was like, oh my God, she's perfect for where I'm at this summer. She's just, I don't know, but she is. So this is Oracle of the Shapeshifters by Jasmine Beckett Griffith and Lucy Cavendish. And there's something about a Lucy Cavendish deck, when you're in the right mood for one, that gives you an answer while not giving you an answer and gives you a lot of food for thought, that I think is really beneficial sometimes, especially when it's hot out, right? And especially as we're stepping into the energy of Lammas and really looking at that, beginning to step into that harvest space. And what is it that we are you know, experiencing the fullness of, or really starting to understand and bring to a fruition in our life. And this deck is really harmonious in regards to offering wisdom around that. But I haven't worked with Oracle of the Shapeshifters just kind of on my own in a very, very long time. Way back in the day, I mean, way back in the day, several lifetimes ago for me, I did a series on this deck called Oracular Spectaculum or something like that. And you can find that on the channel if you want to hear my personal thoughts on some of the card imagery. But this is a really worthy deck in the Cavendish Beckett Griffith collection, and I'm looking forward to reconnecting with this one throughout the months of July and August especially. So that was Oracle of the Shapeshifters by Lucy Cavendish and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. This next deck on the list, like, I don't know when it's not going to be on the list, guys. I'm really enjoying the Witch's Tarot by Burning Paper Hearts. I just love this deck. I don't know what else to say. And like, the imagery is so perfect for those humid, hot, witchy full moons, right? Like, I'm recording this on a Tuesday. The full moon in July is tomorrow. And like, how is this, is there a better deck for that type of energy, right? That kind of sweet fullness. I love the texture of the cards in this deck, as all of you know at this point. It's really just perfect for me. It makes me very, very, very happy. And so it's a great deck to work with for that reason. There is nudity in this deck. Totally spaced saying that. Sorry, guys. I think it's beautifully done, well crafted. I love this deck. I love it more and more as time goes by. And it's perfect for the summer. So I think this deck has been on the list like all year. But I can't stop, won't stop. So again, this is the Witch's Tarot, the full deck, the deck as a complete whole, not the majors only, by Burning Paper Hearts. There will be a link in the description box below, to the side, wherever they are this week, for you to purchase that if you want. Because this is one of those indie decks that I think deserves all the love. Okay. So I have 2 more indie decks on the list and then 2 Oracle decks to finish us off. Serpentfire Tarot. It's like 70s icy goodness, right? And like, look at the, please, like, it's perfect. It's perfection. So let's just take a look. I love this deck. And I was really worried that I wasn't going to love it as much as I thought it was for a while before I purchased it. But it is beautiful. It really, really is. And it grows on you. The more that you work with it, the more I think you feel a sense of connection and balance and understanding of the chosen imagery and her voice. She's a very honest deck, but she's also ethereal, ephemeral. She's like a thunderstorm, speaking of. And so you kind of have to hang out with her a little bit. Let's see, if you were going to have a drink with her, I think you would have a Negroni, you know, and like, you would want to be, you would need to be somewhere where you could have like really fascinating conversation about galaxies, right? Like, this is the type of girl that Serpentfire Tarot would be if you were on a date with her, right? Like, I feel like you would you would end up drinking a Negroni, be talking about galaxies and outer space and theory, scientific theory, and just like there would be a lusty energy to the night, right? Like, I feel like that's Serpentfire Tarot. And of course, you all know the main reason why I love this deck, and I have to find it for you all. So I would be remiss if I did not share. Oh wait, but this 10 of Wands is a Mace Balls, guys, right? Like, obsessed. But hold on. Oh, there's so many great images in this deck. I need to do an updated review of this deck. Let me know down below, guys, if you want me to do that. Of course, now she's not going to show up. Oh, please. Here she is. So I guess we could say there's two reasons. The Page of Pentacles with Stevie Nicks and Elizabeth Taylor as Cleopatra for the Empress. My ultimate fashion icon is Elizabeth Taylor in Cleopatra and Butterfield 8. And her depicted as the Empress. Does it get any better for Racine? No, it doesn't. It's the ultimate deck. So this is the Serpentfire Tarot by She-Wolf Tarot. I will post the link. Excuse me. I just said She-Wolf Tarot. She-Wolf Tarot is another deck. This is the Serpentfire Tarot by Serpentfire. I guess that's her main name. I always forget. I'm so sorry. I will post the link to her website in the description box. I am not sure if there are still copies of this deck available to purchase, as I believe this was limited edition, but if they're available, I will put them there for you. Okay, we have 3 left. Oh my God, it's already been 11 minutes, guys. All right, so I'm gonna do an Oracle deck. Soul cards. I know. They were so much the rage when I first started my YouTube channel. Everyone was using the soul cards. Everyone was talking about them. They're meant to be worked with completely intuitively. They don't have a guidebook. You work with them and trust your intuitive voice. And then I really didn't hear about them for a while. And I was doing a mentorship program with a client of mine, and all I could think about was working with this deck with her. And so I repurchased the deck, excuse me, in order to work with her, and I rediscovered how much I fucking love this deck. It's amazing. So I'm going to show you some of the imagery. If you feel drawn to working with it, create your own guidebook. You know, get some really awesome journal at some beautiful gift store and create a guidebook specifically for this deck. Or don't, and just trust intuitively what comes to you. But I love to use this deck as a clarifier to tarot, and also to really help hone in on how your intuitive voice speaks to you in a reading. It's an absolutely beautiful deck for that. So if you feel drawn to this art, you have to be drawn to this artwork, or if not drawn to the artwork, pulled into the artwork in order for this deck to work for you. I truly do believe that. And there's quite a few different variations on this deck. I think this is Soul Cards 1. So it has the green backing. The maroon backing deck I did not repurchase, but this one I did. Obsessed. Obsessed, obsessed, obsessed. So that's Soul Cards 1 by Deborah Koff Chapin. It's beautiful. And I forgot how much I loved it, and I'm really, really glad that I repurchased it. Really, really glad. Okay. Last tarot deck on my hot summer deck list. It's the Vinder deck volume 2. Guys, I freaking love this deck. It's so air element, which is usually like, I have no air in my chart. The air element is usually on like foreign country, foreign land, like I can't even handle you. I don't know what to do with you. Run, right? Like that's typically how I deal with the air element. However, this deck is the air element in a way that I can handle. It strips back the basic Rider-Waite-Smith meanings to these really poignant, light images that just like breathe a breath of fresh air into my tarot practice. This deck is just so enjoyable to work with. Excuse me. Like, look at that. I don't know why. Normally this is not, you know, a deck a couple years ago that I ever would have considered purchasing. This is an indie deck. I will put the link on Phoenix and Lotus to purchase this deck if it interests you. But it's an absolutely stunning deck, and I just can't stop. I can't stop working with it. I love it. I'm just obsessed. And the thing about this time of year with this is that it's really easy. You know, if you're just trying to find out, like, where am I today? Or looking for some clarity into something, but you don't necessarily want to spend an hour researching an occult symbol or understanding every layered nuance to the Four of Wands. This is a deck that it can just be like, boom, answer, I'm good. The artwork opened me up to a new perspective, and now I can go about my day. So if you're looking for something like that, then I would say you may really enjoy the Vendor deck volume 2. I mean, I love this deck, guys. I love this deck. I need to do a full review. I know I haven't done that yet. At least I don't think I have. If I have, I know one of you will let me know. But obsessed still. This has been on, I think, at least one of my more recent tarot deck favorites. I'm literally trying to shuffle this. That's when you know you read cards for a living. If you've got a deck in your hands, you start shuffling. All right, here's my number one hottest deck of summer 2022, mid-July edition. It's the Woodland Wardens Oracle. I was not expecting to love this deck as much as I do. I freaking love this deck. I love so much about it. I am so drawn to it. I know the artwork's a little bit sweet for me, and typically what you would expect from your vampire loving tarot reader, but I really love this deck. It's so beautiful, especially for daily draws, because you can really sit with the plant or the herb and the animal that accompanies the deck. It's just so beautiful and enjoyable and just lovely. It has such a clear, sweet voice. It's like a river stream, it's like a forest stream or river stream. It's like a forest stream. It's so beautiful. And so I've just really been in love with working with this deck. I really haven't used it for anyone except for myself personally, but I've just been finding such like comfort and connection with this deck. And so it's on my main personal altar. It's been a traveling companion with me as I go back and forth from here to Maine. And I just love this deck so much. I really recommend it. So if you're, if you've been on the fence about Woodland Wardens, then I say give her a try. Why I think she fits the hot summer deck list is that so many of these animals you could see naturally in the wild, at least here in New England this time of year. And so she kind of works with that. And there's like this earthy, dark green, but like vibrant, occasional natural toned oranges that you see in this deck that just really work with that kind of hot summer, saturated, humid, you got to move slow because it feels like you're walking through water in a way, energy. So I'll stop here. But I know I need to do a full review of this deck for you guys too, because some of you have asked me, but I really, really have been enjoying the Woodland Wardens. If you're looking for a spirit animal deck and you've been struggling to find an appropriate one, or a shamanic deck, this is a beautiful one for that. So I really recommend you give this, if you've been on the fence, it's worth a purchase. And if you're drawn to working with animal imagery and plant and herb imagery, the marriage of these two together is really beautiful. So if you identify as a hedge witch or a green witch, or you're someone who's really drawn to plant medicine or animal medicine, you're going to enjoy working with this deck for sure. But this is my hot summer deck list, guys. I think you could go on dates with any of them, and I think you're going to have a great time. So let me know what you guys have been working with as we approach the high heat of summer here in New England. And let me know what you'd like me to make for some videos coming up in the near future. If you have any requests, let me know in the comment section down below, because I do check those and I do have an ongoing list for video recordings. So I am sending you all so much love and many blessings. I hope you're doing well out there in the world. And as always, I will see you in the next video.